Okay, we're going to work on this XL motor here again. So these are the extra blocks I got. I bead blast them. So they're good to go right now. We're going to click hone through these things and I'll pick out the best 4 to use. I'm going to work on the crank here. So take the wrist pin bushings out, or pins out of his pistons over there. Stick them in the rods here and see how loose they are. So you can see how they're loose a little bit. These are runnable, but they're loose. One thing I do is I take an Evo pin that I have laying around. I mark it with a cut right there so I know it. And those are 1 thou bigger than that one. You notice how they fit right in there? And they're loose too. But that took up over half the clearance. So that means they got a couple thou extra clearance in these pin bushings. So that's one way to till them real quickly, just by plugging it in and see what happens. Alright, so this is a fairly expensive motor here. I'm not getting paid much for it, but it's an expensive motor. I'm going to go ahead and put some pin bushings in there. These are coming out of my pocket, but oh well. I want to do it right, so we're going to do it right. I'll go ahead and get this done up here. Push these in, and then get this fitted up. I also got to check the rods, make sure they're straight, but first I got to fit the bushings. And we're going to fit them to his wrist pins here. So we'll do that. These need to have a little hone run through all of these to make sure they're smooth and good. And then the lifters over here, these are the 4 I came up with, and this is the only one that's any value. Those over there are pretty loose. So these have to be cleaned up also. And we're going to put new rollers in these. He sent me a new roller kit someplace. I don't know what I did with it. Floating around here somewhere. So anyway, we'll knock out these rollers here. We're putting brand new Andrews cams on here, so I like putting new rollers on new cams. Some of these can be reused, but why push it? Just put new stuff in there. See how these ones are kind of more worn. See all the little pits and stuff in there. This one over here, see how it's real shiny and smooth, but not much pitting, so that's good. This one here, could have been between. So anyway, you put all new stuff in here, then you know you're good. So this one has a little bit of surface rust on it. We'll clean it up too. So we're going to knock out these rollers, and then we'll hone the skirts here. So we'll show I'll do all that too. So that's all going to kind of get mixed together here a little bit. And then we're going to put it in the shaft. I already cut this down thinner here before, and the pinion shaft I already honed the bushing area over here, so that's good to go. Alright, so that's what we're going to be doing. So first thing I'm going to do is get the bushings into here, I guess. So I'm going to be bouncing around a little bit on this. So I'm going to grab this, I'm going to grab these. I'm going to go over the press. Alright, I'll be right back. Okay, we headed out to go grab the tool part. Unless you guys like me walking around and grabbing all my tools out of benches. So this is the tool for knocking out the bushings. So this one goes inside of here, pushes the bushing into here. So you have room to go for the bushing to fit in there, see? This is the machine on top, so it sits right on top of the rod, it goes straight in. And we're already interrupted, didn't take long. Hello. Alright. I don't make FXR oil pans. Nope. Yeah, that'd be San Diego Customs, and they got a waiting list already. San Diego Custom makes the oil pans, and they got a list going already. Evidently they haven't been making them for a while, I guess, but I don't have any control over it. I developed it, they make them. Right, that was me developing the thing that they made. Yeah, they have a website, go to there. As far as I know, there's a waiting list for them. They don't have them made right now, but you have to talk to them and see what their plans are. I don't know. No. Okay, good luck with it. Bye. No, I don't make FXR oil pans. Just because I made videos making the pan doesn't mean I make them. Unless there's going to be a strong demand for them, then I'll have to make them. Okay, those are pushed in. Oh, break that one off too. Alright, so now I gotta go hone these out a little bit. Now if you call me on the phone, I'm not gonna answer now because I'm gonna hone. So no more interruptions with that for a few minutes. Okay. Show them getting the tools, but show them putting them away. If you don't put your tools away, you lose them. Tools have a spot where they go. Keep them where they belong and they don't get lost. Okay, so we need our wrist pins right here. Okay, we got what we need now. Let me go over here to our hone. Do some honing. Okay. Let's see, I'm grabbing some lifter blocks too, I think. And we're over here, we're going to do some honing. We'll hone those two. Okay. Let's do the lifter blocks first. I'll find a hone over here that fits over. That'd be the one. Fits on that one. Perfect. It's the one with a real fine stone in it too. Look at that. Almost like it was made for doing that job, right? Okay. Works on that too, but that ain't the one we're doing. We're doing these. Wrong thing. We'll be back to that one. Digs into your hand, it hurts. His are definitely more out of round than mine. You can feel them. Okay, that part's done. We'll be back to this mandrel, looks like. Looks like it's the same one for doing the bushings. Nope, the next one up is the one for the bushings. That goes there. Okay, this is an expanding mandrel. It has a little ball thing right here. Actually, it's right here. It expands the bushing as you go across it, which will lock the bushing and tie the rod so it won't spin in there. So it's a very important step. Otherwise the bushings tend to get hot and get loose in the rods. So the ball's right there, on there. Put a little tension on it. knows it, but it gets it all grooved up on the inside of the bushing when you do that. Cut it at the end, it cuts off the excess bushing because it expands outward as you cut it. I don't know if you can see it, but this bushing is now sticking up above the top of the steel now. It's great. That cuts it right off flush, see? There. That one's done. Dry. I go over here and grab the one you need over here. That'll work. It's just this one here. Nope, it's this one. Okay, this has our coarse stone in it. See, it's a lot coarser than the other one. So this roughs the bushing in. So we hold it until these almost go in, but not quite. Unless you screw up. Stone's real tight here and right there to loosen the metal. So you don't want it when it's loose. Don't do anything. Bigger. Keep stepping it up a little at a time. Put the oil, let it cool because it gets hot. When it gets hot, it expands. It's bigger. getting there. Definitely getting there. It feels like it's trying to go in, you stop. That means you still got a thou or two to go, but you gotta stop before you get there. Otherwise it becomes way too loose. And a coarse finish will wear in real quick and make it really loose in the long run, which you don't want. That's why you want to have a nice fine finish when you're done. So see, it's a nice fine finish here. Who's sneaking in?
Wake up.
Oh jeez. Dumbass just came in.
Are you pretending to work?
Nope, not me. Close. Precision fit. Normal straight pliers. More of a racing fit. Second wrist in. Definitely a high spot somewhere, right? Probably in the wrist point, so trying to cut something? Alright, so there's your precision fit. What clearance is that? You're going to have to figure that out yourself by measuring, but for me that's the clearance I want. So on a straight job it goes kind of slow. See, that was a little bit tighter. Now it goes like it's supposed to. How much should we take off? Maybe a tenth or two. Probably a tenth. Alright, we'll be back. Alright, getting back on this. Got interrupted for a few hours, so it's midnight now. Time to get some work done. Alright, so these are what I honed. So you can see the dull areas are low spots and the shiny area are high spots. So you look at your bores and see what they are to work with in these things. So you look for anything that's majorly screwed up in any of them. Nothing super bad about any of these, just normal wear so far. So I don't see anything majorly screwed up with these. Alright, so after we clean up our lifters, we'll pick the ones that have the tightest feeling to them. Okay, those I'll have to get to tomorrow. Okay, the rod set. I went ahead and got these home, which is where we left off. So these are what they look like after they're all fresh and home. So now instead of moving a bunch up and down, you don't even see any movement, but they move, see. Nice and easy, see. Okay, that's what you want to have there. Okay, I went to put these on a rod aligner machine and aligned them. So they're straight. They were actually pretty straight after I put them in. I was shocked. Fine tune them, got them right on the money. So they're ready to be honed on the big end now for this down here. So that we got to take the crank pin, which is over here. We're going to measure it and go from there. I'll want it back in my pocket too, what aren't. Okay, so let's measure the crank pin, see what size bearings we're going to need. I already set the gauge over there earlier today. Alright, let's see what we got here. Okay, it's pretty far under size. 1.7, so it's 1.3 under. There's 8. That's bigger. It's 9 plus there. You have to measure where the wear spot is because that's where the rollers are going to be going. There's 8. 8. 7 again. You rotate it again. Second rotation. Don't measure on top of the hole though. 8 that time instead of 7. 8. About 8.5. Okay, so 8 is our average. So that's 8/10 of a thou because we're over here on the veneer scale. So we're 1.2 thou under 0. So we have to 1.2 is going to be the number you're going to remember for clearance. We're going to run about 9/10 clearance to 1 thou, which will be 10/10. So that means we're going to be 2/10 under our 0 with standard rollers, assuming rollers are standard size, which they aren't. So now we have a rough idea what we're going to need for bearings. Let's go over and see what we actually have over here on the checker. So we do use math around here. And you have to have a memory so you know what's going on. Alright, so here's our gauge right here. You have fingers right here to change the gauge up and down as you move this, whichever one it is. That one right there. So, see the dial moving? Okay, so we take our rod, stick it on here, see where we're at. So we're 3/10, 4/10 out around right now. Yeah, about 4 out. 0 is right here. With our extra clearance from 1.2, we're going to be 3/10 is our standard size. So we want 3/10 under as our 0 point. With our built-in clearance, which we don't have. So we already passed that by 1/1000 almost. Yeah, we'll be down here. Right now we're at 1 thou. So that'll be 5 over bearings, which would be 6/10. 3/10 per side is 6/10 bigger. 5/10 is 1/1000. We're going to be 12/10, which is 6/10 over bearings. Right now we're at 6/10 bearings. And yeah, we haven't even honed these yet. Whoop, we got to hone these yet. So we're going to wind up being like 8/10 or 1 thou over. Now this rod here is pretty good. We're at 5/10 That side's good. This side over here was out around quite a bit and quite a bit bigger. See, we're down here around 1, while this one here is up at 5/10. So the two sides of the rod here are not the same size. Oh, there you go, that's big. So there's 3.5/10, 1 thou. So 7/10 out around. This side's worse, we're at 8/10, and we go down to 14, 15/10. So even at 1 over bearings, this is going to be hard to clean this, but we'll get it close. Okay, so now we know what size bearings we're going to be using. We're going to be using 1 over. We have no choice now but to use 1 over bearings. So now we go find some bearings so we can measure them and see what 1 over bearings are actually going to be. Are they going to be 1 over, or are they going to be 8/10? That's our question. Okay, so I have short rollers. Ooh, some big stuff. Here's our rollers. So these are 2 thou over. We could use those and get them to clean up. So these are 1 over bearings. Let me say 1 over on them. This is the middle one, male. These are the female ones. Don't have too many of them left. I'm not even sure if that's enough to do a full set. Barely. Yeah. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17, 18. I don't think there's enough. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15. Nope, we're short. We don't have enough to do 1 overs. And they're not going to clean at 1 overs either. That's the other problem. Because that one rod, it's at 1 over and now, I haven't even honed it yet. Okay, so if we go to 2 over bearings, looks like we got a lot of them here. We put these in the wrong spot. A lot being we got 1 bag of them. And we have about half a bag in here at most. Looks like there's enough to do 1 set of rods. These are all things you can't buy no more because you can't buy bearings. Limited selection out there. Okay, now I gotta measure what size bearings we actually have here. Yeah, they're big. Yep. They are 2 over. So I think that'd be a lot of honing to get out to these sizes. Let's see. So I think what we're going to do some trickery. We got 1 over. Let's measure what a 1 over actually is 1 or not. It is. So we're right on 5/10. And we're 1 size, 1 more over we should be here. So 1 thou over is actually 1 thou over, not 8/10 over. Standard bearings aren't standard, they're 2/10 under, so. These are 2/10 are standard, 4/10 can be either way, 6/10 can be either way, 8/10 can be either way. Depends on who made them. That is the problem these days with rollers. This one's 3, it's 2 under. So we got 3, 4, and 5 now. Great. Alright, so I get to choose my rollers as I want. Great, they're on the floor now. Good spot for them. I'll deal with them later. Okay, I am going to hone some rods and see what I'm going to come up with. We're just going to hone them and see what we got. See what we got to work with. First thing I do is get them round, true. Then you worry about sizing. Okay, what was our big rod? Our big rod was this one. Yeah. A low spot in that thing. Let's see, this is not the right mandrel. You don't want to use the original crank without rebuilding it before. This is why I rebuild everything. Because I know it's wrong. This is wrong too. They're not fitting. Alright, that takes care of that. Okay, I need one of these. Okay, this is pretty far out around. So I'm going to go right to my coarse stone. Rough it in, get it trued up pretty quickly. The rough stone tends to true a rod quicker. Let's see what we can come up with here and make it what we need. This one. So we got things roughed in real quick. jump all the way to fine stone. Bypass the intermediate stone. Okay, now 8 and 8 would be 16. We are at 8 under 8. 16, it puts it 14. Already. We're at 10 right now, so we have a little room to go. I might have did 8/10 on the female rod. Real close. Okay. Okay. Clean my hands a little bit. Pretty dirty. Okay. I'm tired, so I'm trying to do my numbers in my head. Remember where the hell I'm at. Okay, so we'll get our dial over here. Before we're way the hell on our numbers. Try to get it so we can see it. Okay, this rod here, we're real different between the two sides. So now, we're about 13/10 down right now. It goes down to almost 15. So it's 2/10 out. Okay, this other one, 13, 14. 13, 14. So the other side, you got 13, we got 13 and 14, we got 13 and 15. So we're close. Okay, this one here, we're about 14 and a half, goes up to 16 and a half. Flip it on the other way. About 14, and that went to 17. 14 and a half, 17. Okay, so the average about 16. So we got 13 is basically 14, and we got 16, kind of 17-ish area. Okay, that's over the top. Well, you got to add 3 of those to bring up your numbers. So the one that's 17, 300 would be 1 overbearing. That's this one here. The other one we're at 13 to 14. So we are we're 3 under. So that's 17. We're just over 8/10 roller right there. This would be like a loose 8/10 roller. So let's go see what we got for rollers here. I'm going to wind up probably honing the big one out slightly. Okay. So right now I got a bunch of rollers on the floor I got to deal with. Okay, I need some 8/10 bearings, which I didn't bring out. 6/10. Okay, here's some 8/10 over. Whole bag of them here. If these are 8/10, we're golden. If they're 6/10, we're screwed. Okay. We are at around 3. 2. So that's 7. Yeah, we're about that 8. We're 7 to 8, so that's close. That's this one. This one's 3. That helps us slightly. That's 8. So that gives us our 16. 16, you take 3 off to go into 0 by 3. Puts it 13. We're at 13, 14 on the one side, 13, 15 on the other. So yeah, we're on the looser side of the number, but that's fine. It's a hot rod motor. A little extra clearance will be fine for high RPM. Okay, so we can do the 8/10 on the male side. The female side, on the male rod, we're going to use the 1/over bearing, which is the one that's on the floor down here. That's these ones. And these ones we are 4. We have some that are on size, we have some that are undersize. Those are 4 right now, which is good. So 4 1/10 under. So 1/10 under doesn't kill us too bad. So 1/10 under is, we got 19, we got 18/10 instead of 20. So where's my dial at? So right here's our dial. So we want to be at 3/10 under. So we're short 2. So that'd be 17, short 2, you're at 15. 15 was our low number. 14 was our low number actually. It went up, averaged out. So that one's 15 basically there. Go up to 17. Alright, so this is slightly loose. Both of these are slightly loose, but they're pretty round now and true. So we're going to use 8/10 bearings on this one. We're using 1/over on this one. So that'll give us what we want. So that should make everything fit up pretty good. So we're mixing and matching components to get what we need, but oh well. The rods are pretty far out now. They're a lot closer than they were. Alright, we'll get all this cleaned up. We'll be back.